Hi, hello, check 1, 2. And ABC 1, 2, 3, and spelling is good for you and me. Hi. Yo, sup? Welcome to PodGis. PODGIS, don't you know? Not PodGis. That is a common mistake. But God knows, maybe at some point I should probably change. At some point I should probably change the title to PodGis because it doesn't make a whole lot more sense to begin with or anymore. So, is this tune in next time? Is this the last of let's do like a Batman cliffhanger. Is this the last we're hearing of Podgus? Oh no, it seems our noble hero is hanging on by a thread. She's not quite sure about the name of the show. Is this the last we're gonna see of poor Avagus? Is she gonna let go of a long-held inside joke? Tune in next time on Podguess. Or whatever she... I mean, I guess you'll find out what she does based on the title of whatever the following post will be. So, spoiler alert, I guess. Tune in next time, I guess. Or don't, when you see the title of the next show and you find out basically the answer to all of these cliffhanger questions. Oh, God. That's so dumb. Hi, welcome to the opening minute of Tomfoolery with Ava Val. Oh, that's funny. Tomfoolery with Ava Val. Maybe I just came up with the title. Just like that. There it is. Done. Yeah, hey, let's start off with a little something for the boys and the girls and everyone in between. Let's see if I can change my part. I'm over this part. My hair is parting to one side. I remember some posts sometimes go viral where somebody goes, "How did Taylor Swift do this?" And it's two side-by-side pictures of Taylor Swift's hair parted in the middle, and then another one of her hair off to the side. And it's so funny how people can be that oblivious. But let's see if I can change my part. You know what? I'm about to be incredulous, because it is like, how did Taylor Swift do that? So effortlessly. Yeah, it's, one side of my head parts nicely, and the other does not. Go figure. How did Taylor Swift do this? It's just, whenever I change the part, see, now, even my body it's counterintuitive to what I'm used to. Whenever I change the part, my hair goes up like Jimmy Neutron, you know? Which way am I parting? Off this way. It goes up like Jimmy Neutron and doesn't come down. It goes up into space. It's because of that cowlick. I have such a big cowlick. It's gotta go. Okay, maybe I'll just like pull it back. Hey. Yeah, that's alright. I don't know, man. I'm getting my hair extensions put in next week. It's gonna be so fucking cool. My hair is gonna be so thick. It's actually so long, though. It's gotten so long. Wow. I guess I feel like I'm the only one who notices how thin it is. Okay, which way is the part? It's this way. Okay, we're gonna get used to this part here. Oh, Jesus. Was this a bad idea? Look at this. Sit down. Sit down, cowlick. It just ain't doing that. It always depends on how I let it dry after the shower. And whatever, I'm going to distracted or not, distractible, distracting or not, I'm doing it this way. I'm going to leave it. God. Sometimes you just you get started and you're like, this just doesn't look good. It's not making a whole lot of sense for me right now. Okay, whatever. Okay, I'll stop. It's just gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it. How's your week, you guys? Did you get a lot done? I just woke up from a nap, an unexpected nap, a nap that took me by surprise. This is the thing. I there's a spot on the couch that, since our couch is L-shaped and the TV is on one of the walls of the L, right? Um, it's like perpendicular, you know what I'm talking about? It's not like V-shaped, and then the TV is not like a house shape, not like a pentagon, you know? It's square, and there's a couch facing, and then there's a couch facing the TV, and then there's another one facing the wall beside the TV, you see? And me, my preferred viewing place, my preferred viewing position is on the couch facing the wall. And then I put a big, and then I take one of the cushions and I put it at the head of the couch. So I like lay flat. I get to lay across the couch in a comfortable propped up position. It is heaven. I am so comfortable in that spot. I love laying while I'm watching television. And unfortunately, after so much time using this thing and feeling so cozy and comfy, I have been devastated by the truth that that position makes me sleepy. Doesn't that suck? Now I can't enjoy that position anymore because it makes me so tired, and it makes it so hard to get up. And the last like 3 times, the last 3 fucking times I've laid down on that couch and finished a meal. I think that's also part of it. If I eat a meal and then I'm binging Better Call Saul. So I'm like, I'm the end of 2 seasons in, and I lay down on the couch with a belly full of food and then an hour-long television program. And then once the program's over, I have to summon the strength to get up, and I don't. And that is such a critical moment because I'm already like a little bit, baby's a little bit sleepy after watching her television shows. And then I scroll idly on my phone, and then my eyes start to get heavy, and then I fucking fall asleep. And that's 3 times in a row that I've eaten food on the couch, and I'm getting full nights of sleep, you see? I'm just going to bed scrolling until like 2:30 in the morning in my bed, but then I'm waking up at 11. And it's like, Avagus, let's fix that sleep pattern. So this couch isn't swallowing you up like that. I don't like that it swallows me up like that. I don't like that it swallows me up like that. It sucks. So, and I'm recording this at 8:30 p.m., so there's an awkward time to be tired and woken up, and I'm cranky as shit. I'm taking these off. And I was cold, and now that I've started, what is this? I'm in a huff, and now I'm hot. And my head hurts already. It's been 8 minutes, and my head hurts already. So these are my these are my confessions. In the words of Usher. Why did Ludacris say it like that? Usher. And was Usher mad at him? Usher. I would be like, hey, I don't have an ego about it, but also, I don't know, say my name properly. Usher. And it's like, why did you do that? Did Usher even ask, or was he like, oh, okay, cool, thanks for being on my song? Ludacris just says his name in all kinds of disrespectful ways. Blusher. I'm with Ushface. And Usher's like, hey, can we do a normal styles? And he's like, no. What is this? Oh, that's, I think these are, oh yeah, this is a CT scan of my face I just found. A CT scan of my skull. I'm gonna throw that over there. Throw it out later. Yeah, I'm a little cranky. Baby just woke up from a nap. I gotta have a sip of tea and a sip of water at the same time. Ugh, maybe I'm hot because I'm drinking tea. Maybe that's why I'm so hot. Good news. Today, uh, while we're podcasting, I recorded the pilot episode of a new podcast with my friend B. Bertrand, and he and I are going to kick off a new podcast. We're going to try and do this thing. There is no try, only do. We are going to do this new podcast called Assigned Funny at Birth, and it is a series of conversations and joke arounds of myself and my friend B. Bertrand, who is a fellow stand-up comedian here in Toronto, and he's also happens to be a trans man, and so that's why we're calling it Assigned Funny at Birth, AFAB, and it's just two comics talking about their experiences on opposite ends of the gender spectrum. We started transitioning at the same time and from opposite ends, and so it'll be a really fascinating fun, funny show where we talk about like being trans and transitioning and what it's like, gender norms and all that shit, you know. So I can't wait to show you guys. That's going to be super fun. PodGis is going to continue. Real question here. I had a quick question from a friend who overheard me talking about how the next special that's going to come out, he was saying you shouldn't put it behind a paywall. You shouldn't put it on Patreon because think of all the fans that you could potentially reach by making it free. And so he disagrees with that. And the thing is, I paid up front for the production costs out of pocket, and I would like to make those back. This isn't me just profiteering, even though fuck profiteering, it's my work. It has value. You know what I mean? And the thing is, the more I think about it, the more this special it's very intimate, first of all. And secondly, there's material on there that I have since honed and am working on and want to include in what would be my next special of just stand up, of just like honed material. And at least that's what I'm thinking right now. Because I've incorporated a lot of the stuff that I talked about in that special, and I'm using it on stage, and it's refining and it's getting better because I improvised it that night. And so naturally it's getting better the more I do it and the more I add to it. And so, my next special will include material that's already in this one, so I don't want to spoil it. And I want to make it like exclusive to an exclusive bunch because it's an art piece more than it's equal parts like a special and a one woman show. I don't know. I spent a lot of money on this thing, and I don't want to just put out specials and not get my work at the very least reimbursed. You guys don't understand that it's fucking hard out here for an artist, and uh and it's just, everyone's so used to getting so much free content online that it's like, maybe support a fucking artist a little bit here and there. You know what I mean? And I know the reach isn't going to get as much, but that's also part of why I want to do it on Patreon, is because only a committed select few are going to see it, knowing that some of the material might repeat itself eventually when I do another special, So it's almost like you get this exclusive sneak peek to the formation, the early version of some of these jokes. Know what I'm saying? So that's that. That's what I'm thinking. But this is a very convincing friend and a very smart one. So I listen to what he says. But I also, and that brings me to the next question. Here's my visa update. Which, okay, I spoke to my lawyer. And she told me that calling it a visa is not technically Correct. That it's a visa if it comes from any country, not Canada. Canada and US have a special relationship, or at least they fucking did until Trump took office and ruined that, but and will potentially further ruin it. But Canada and O1, a performer's O1, which is specifically what I am applying for, um, is an O1 is not a visa, she says. So to me, she tried explaining it, and to me, the difference is semantic and nothing more. But apparently, it's also legal. Semantics in the legal verse are very, very important. Semantics are fucking everything in legalese. So it's not technically a work visa. So apparently, according to my lawyer, this memo that Marco Rubio sent around to all the border agents that was like, if you suspect an applicant to be trans, or if you suspect an applicant to have a gender that is different, to have a gender on their documents that is different from the one they were assigned at birth, then you can use your discretion to just flat out reject them. Which fucking explain to me why that is at all fair. That is so blatantly discriminatory. I mean, but definitionally. But apparently, according to my lawyer, she's confident that that wouldn't include me. However, yeah, I spoke to her more, and she just basically said that she's confident I will get this O1 approved, albeit a little late, delayed several months, possibly more. It was supposed to start in June. Now they're looking at September, so I've lost 3-4 months. Which I'm okay with. I only had 2 gigs booked in Boston, and we will reschedule those once I have a clearer image of these things, and once I know for sure, like, am I shaking the desk when I push on the wall? No. Um, yeah, we'll see how things develop, but that is the latest. My lawyer is pushing me to drop 3,000 more American dollars for premium processing, which would hurry up the application back up to June. And here's the thing: I already spent $14,000 on this shit, like 14,000, 13,000 American or something, which is more obviously Canadian. I broke my fucking bank account doing this, and she's like, do the premium processing for another 3K. I just don't have that money fucking sitting around. So all of this to say, like, if you think I'm fucking rich and famous because I'm on Halifax Comedy Festival, uh you're absolutely wrong. I'm still struggling, and I need to think about ways of making money and fucking attaching well-deserved value to the quality of my work. So, forgive me if I sound frustrated or whatever, but I'm like, I'm good at what I do, and I want to start getting paid for it, for fuck's sake. Especially living up to the expenses that I'm sinking, and the fucking the work visa thing. But this is my mindset, and I'm glad I think things this way. I'm glad it kind of worked out this way, but I've been called out for this like so often in my life. I will my dad always pointed this out, and every job that I've worked, people notice that I don't have a mind for doing things the easy way. If that makes sense. Like whenever there's an abundantly obvious direct route to something, I tend to choose whatever is more laborious, and therefore whatever will make me feel more rewarded or capable at the end of it, because I did it on hard mode. I play video games on hard mode first try. I uh I don't know, my dad is like, I I was smart enough in school to be a doctor if I wanted to. The world was my oyster. And instead I chose fucking comedy in Canada, which is a very extremely difficult fucking career choice. There's comedian and then there's Canadian comedian, which is way harder. The industry here is impossible. So, you know, uh, yeah. And every time I've taken a job and they're like, and they instruct me to go do something, they arrive and they're like, why did you choose to do it this way? There was such an easier common sense way. And so, also, part of it is just me being too stupid to recognize that there is a common sense way of going about things. And yes, I extend that to my transness. I could have been a cis guy. I could have lived out the rest of my life as a cis guy. But that would have been too easy, too shitty. It would have sucked. In many ways it would have been harder to live with that. But being trans is outwardly harder in society, but what is a life worth living? If it's not if it's easy, it's not worth it. In my mind, sometimes, in a lot of cases. But so that's what I'm doing to add perspective to this setback. This American setback is like, yeah, it fucking sucks. It's gonna be harder. This just made things fucking harder. This Trump presidency has made my 3-year O1. I'm going to have my O1 for the entirety of this Trump administration. It could have been so much easier had the Americans elected Kamala Harris, but it's not. It's going to be harder. And I, at this point in my life, am just so used to hearing more and more hard news. The Canadian comedy industry is dying. Funding is falling apart for a lot of uh like festivals are making less and less money. Sirius XM in America is taking less Canadian acts. I found that out when I submitted my special. I just get it's hard news always as a comedian, and I am doing well despite that. So, just bring on the hardships, stack them on. Fuck you, I'll conquer. I will conquer. Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun. Sun always comes. I don't always come. Oh, jeez. Oh, did I? That was a big gulp. And I thought I overgulped, but I gulped just enough. My big fat pillowy lips absorbed all the extra gulp that was in there. Wow. That was a big gulp. That was such a big gulp. And with my old lips, pre-surge lips, all that gulp would have gone all over my ass. Would have gone all over my ass, dog. Trust me, dog, it would have gone all over my ass, that big gulp. But since I have extra lip cushioniness, it absorbed more of it. And good for me. Um, oh, this segues quite nicely. I've been giving I'm noticing a pattern in the advice that I give people when they solicit it, of course. But I try to be measured about it. But when a young trans, and I'm only 4 years in, so I still consider myself a young trans, but I'm over the adolescent phase. I can confidently say that now that I've had fucking facial surgery. But yeah, I'm well over the adolescent and the like early coming out stages and all that shit. That's well behind me. So whenever I'm solicited for advice from a dainty young trans lady, and young applies to any age, I mean like just new to the experience kind of thing, starting out on their journey. Uh What did I write? I get that things get I've been giving a lot of trans people free advice not to quit. I get that things get rough, and maybe in most cases these people just want to commiserate when they reach out to me, but my advice has been consistently bullish. Don't fucking quit. It takes a lot for me to commit to something, but when I do, I fucking do it. So that note essentially, sorry, I take notes sometimes when I think of stuff that I want to talk about later. I don't know if you noticed. But I give tough love sometimes to strangers who reach out. Because it's some people just want to like play a fantasy. Some people just want to fantasize, or like you can kind of tell at a certain point who is reaching out, who is like serious about comedy, about transitioning. You can kind of see who is just sort of messaging you to like, oh, just to indulge a bit of a fantasy of it, and I tend to be more blunt with those people. You know, direct. I'm usually direct in my advice. But that's the thing, is a lot of people will message me to commiserate about stuff, and I'll accept your commiserations. Yeah, it is fucking hard. But at a certain point, like I think I've reached a level in 4 years in where it's like, yes, it is hard. Do you see my stand-up act? I talk about how hard it is all the fucking time. But if but yeah, like what is there to say after that? Keep going. I don't know. If all of it is too much for you, then stop or not. I don't know, like a lot of times it's just like, yeah, that's a shitty part of it. How bad do you want it? Keep going. That's all I can really tell you. Or don't. If you're not cut out for it, then don't. Because in a lot of cases, some things do not get easier, and society hates people like us. That I'm and we're all fighting to improve that and make things easier. But yeah, it sucks being trans in society. I don't know what to tell you. How bad do you want it? And I hate that, that's blunt. And I know some people, it's more dangerous for some people than it is for somebody like me. I totally acknowledge that. So sometimes it isn't a matter of willpower, but for the most part, if you're complaining to me about electrolysis and growing out your hair, yeah, I commiserate. I think it sucks. But are you asking me to quit? If you're asking me, then I don't know. Don't ask me. That's not a question I can answer for you. There have been a lot of trans people along the way that I've had to tell, like, hey, at this point, I can't help you with these internal questions that you're dealing with. Especially when a lot of the questions are like, I haven't gotten this in a while, but there will be some people who will respond to a compliment politely, and then automatically I'm their best friend. And they ask and they ask and they try and take and take and take, um and eventually it reaches a point where, like, they'll send pictures of themselves and be like, will I be beautiful? And it's like, I'm not sorry. I'm not gonna tell you. I'm not saying. I know you're looking for a yes, but I'm not participating in this. This is not my role. It's no one's role. That is the more important lesson to be learned here. If you take that personally, if you're like, well, go fuck yourself, I'll go ask somebody else, then you truly didn't learn that lesson. It's not about beauty. I know we exist in a society where, like, yeah, we're having these beauty standards imposed upon us at all times, and like especially for trans women, there is a feminine beauty standard, absolutely, and I want to achieve that standard. I'm not immune to it, but if your reasons are that superficial for doing it thoroughly, if that is the core reason, then you shouldn't be thinking about this to begin with. and and whether or not your reason for doing it is whether or not you will be a model. If that's the determining factor, then the answer is don't do it. Don't do it. And maybe that's coming from a place of privilege. I don't know. Probably. I try to acknowledge it everywhere I can, but I'm cocky as shit. People know what I am when I walk down the street. So, you know, whatever. My advice is like, do it or don't. I'm just tired, you know? People asking me basically for permission to transition, and it's like, that is not my job. That I'm not doing that for you. Sorry, babe, not doing that for you. I have a friend encouraging me to apply for the traders. Not the trades, not the traders like, I'll trade you this fish for that soil. No, like the traders like, you traitor, you have turned against your own kind. Uh I'm being encouraged to submit, and it's like, all right. I don't know. I don't know that show, and I don't like reality TV. I don't. Even though I'm the realest one there ever was. That's why. That is, let me tell you, that's why. Is because stand up, I am in perfect control of how I am represented, of my opinions, of my how foolish I look, how gentle, caring I am a perfect representation of myself because I am in full control of it at all times. Reality TV is uh your control over your own image extends to only to a point, and then after that the producers have their own narratives that they try and like feed and write into the show and pressure you to perform with the other people, and they're pulling the strings, they're the puppeteers up here, directing whatever narratives that they think will be compelling to the viewer. And then beyond that, you've got the editors as well, who are in on all that shit and will edit you to be a hero or a villain, or to fabricate um conflict where there isn't any. So that's why I don't want to do reality TV shows, and I don't like competing publicly anymore. I don't like that. I like low stakes. If I'm competing in something, I want to just like play a board game with friends or cards or whatever. I don't want it projected and televised. I don't want an audience. You know, you know what I mean? I just, especially a game like Traders, in which you are supposed to guess, people's sincerity, because I'm not that cynical and skeptical of other people's behavior. I take people as they are, and I'm so naive. I think that's all. I never second guess people, and it makes me extremely gullible and easily manipulated. I would truly, even though I know nothing about this show, I know it's all about deception, I would suck at that show. I tell myself that I would be decent at Survivor. I would get backstabbed and I would lose. I wouldn't win. But and I would also get voted out for being too nice and for people liking me too much. It's true. I'm tooting my own horn here, but I'm a people pleaser and I'm a people person and I'm good at bonding with people. And I make friends really easily, and I'm funny and I'm charming. Come on. Like, it's my job to be funny and to charm people. So I am a professional at getting people to warm to me. Not and not in a manipulative way. It's second nature at this point, you know? Can't help myself. Can't help but be lovable. And so I would be good in Survivor at making friends, but I would fall prey so easily and so quickly to the first person who decides they don't want me on the island anymore, or the first alliance of people who would be like, yeah, she's a rube. She's just we'll string her along as far as we want to, and then she's gone. Could I betray someone? Yeah, probably. In stakes like those, perhaps. I wouldn't feel good about it. I'm not the best. I'm not the best. Am I a good liar? I don't know. I'm good at telling white lies. Not good at telling severe bad ones. You know? So anyways, should I apply to traders? Maybe. I don't know. Yeah. There's probably like a video submission thing that's like, why do you want to be on the show? And then my answer will be like, because a friend told me to do it. Because a friend wants me on the show. Okay. That's why. Is this tea? My tea's gone cold. I'm wondering why. Why did I get out of bed at all? Anyways, look, I know these questions are big, big questions. And maybe at some point I fucking asked somebody, should I transition? Yeah, because now that I think about it, like, sometimes it's such a big decision. It's such a huge decision, of course, that you'll do anything just to like pawn it off on someone else, just to like, um, just to alleviate the burden of such an immense question. So now that I think about it, like I do sympathize and I empathize, but that is not the way. That is not the way, and it is not my role to tell somebody whether or not to do it. So I basically tell people, do it or don't. I don't help them. I go, either you do it or you don't. Commit or don't. You know? Yeah, this shit is hard. Yeah, shit gets tough. How bad do you want it? I'm in that kind of phase of advice giving. And I've always been that way with stand-up, you know? People don't realize how fucking hard it is and how long it takes and how much rejection is in it. And so, do it or don't. Commit to it or not. These aren't stand-up, a career in the arts, a career in stand-up, and transitioning are things that you commit to or you don't. You just got to do it. See it through, commit to it, do it. Or it's not for you. If you're not in 100%, it is not for you. Neither of these things. And that is the case for a lot of life, honestly, truly. You know? That's really true universally of life. If you're not 100 in, if you're not hundo in, it ain't for you. Hundo in, baby. If you're not hundo, you're nundo. Oh, if you ain't hundo, you ain't nundo. What is it? In for a penny, in for a pound, or whatever? That's still a British one. Oi, hello. In for a penny, in for a pound. Is that Jack the Ripper? Jack the Ripper, like, probably poked somebody once and was like, oh, excuse me, lad, I've poked you. My apologies. Sorry about that. I've poked you. I've poked you with my pencil. I'm sorry. And he's like, ha ha. Well, good thing it's not in for a penny, in for a pound, ain't it? good thing it's not in for a penny, in for a pound, in it. And then Jack the Ripper was like, oi, hello. What are you saying? Are you saying I gotta go all the way with this? Are you saying if I've poked you, are you telling me that if I've poked you, I gotta get a kitchen knife and poke you some more and poke and poke and poke until your heartbeat is no more? Is that what you're saying? And that I need to go on and do this to a series of ladies of the night? Is that what you're telling me? Oh, I've gone from being Jack the Poker to Jack the Ripper, innit? Oh, I've gone from being Jack the Clumsy Oaf who's known to poke every once in a while by accident to a complete Jack the Ripper of ladies of the night. And for a penny and for a pound in it. Was that funny? And for a penny and for a pound, if you're not hundo, you're nundo. Yeah, dog. Love that. This should have been episode 100. Hallelujah. Oh, oh, oh. Hallelujah. Guess that theme song. What theme song is that? I couldn't hit that high note. There was that one part I couldn't hit that high note. Guess that show. I'm gonna give you 5 more seconds to guess. Starting now. 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. It was Mr. Bean. Mr. Bean was that show. Since I know how to do this now, let's do this. Let's find the theme song to Mr. Bean. Official pre-order trailer, Battle Beast. What the fuck is that even? Parthenope. What the fuck is that even? Is that a video game? Or is that a comic book? I think that's a comic book. Battle Beast. What is that? Oh, that's Invincible. A Worthy Death. Oh, see, I haven't watched Invincible. I gotta watch Invincible, more Invincible. But, like, the violence was cool, but the dialogue was so cheesy and so hokey, and I just, like, hated Invincible. But now I'm so compelled to watch more of it. The Death of Gwen Stacy. Now, what's this now? Oh, Green Goblin killed Gwen Stacy. I'm so distracted. Okay, all right. Why is that showing me videos with 8 views? I don't know who you are. I don't know who you are. Okay. What did I... Oh, yeah. Oh, Kratos top 5 coldest quotes. I'm setting that aside for later. Okay. All right. Avagus, focus. Mr. Bean theme song. There it is. Okay. Let's see if I remembered enough to get the key right. Hallelujah. Oh, that's the first note, okay? Oh, we're gonna shorten. I'm gonna do this. I don't think it is. I think it's higher. Oh, man. God. I'm giving that a thumbs up. Hallelujah is formal. Oh. Is it in Latin? Behold the man who is a bean. I don't even, you know, that can't be right. What are the lyrics? Oh, let's look up what are the lyrics. What are the lyrics to Mr. Bean theme song? Oh, no way. Behold the man who is a bean. Ecce homo qui est fama. Oh my God, that's so cool. Today I learned. It's in the Today I Learned of Reddit. That is so fun. And if you pay attention, he is literally beamed down by aliens and spends his first season not being able to understand what anyone is saying. By his second season, I believe he can understand English and is assimilating a bit better on his new planet. Bean is an alien. See, that's what I thought. People say this a lot, but the Latin choir makes me think he's supposed to be divine. Also, as the title of the post points out, he is in fact a man. In the world, but not exactly of it. I mean, yeah, that's essentially, I think that sums it up best. It needs to be vague enough. Mr. Bean is in the world, but not exactly of it. You know? No one knows his origins or where he come from. He may as well have been dropped from the heavens to participate in society, in a society that he doesn't quite understand, or he wants to navigate selfishly, childishly even. He is like a man-child, and his selfish impulses get the better of him, and he makes choices that hurt other people sometimes, and you know, and it comes from, and like his origin story, him being dropped out of the sky, kind of alludes to that he is not of this world. He is uncanny. He is only human in he's human in a lot of ways, but he is different. This weirdo must have just straight up fallen out of the cloud. He might as well have just plummeted from the sky. I like the idea that he's divine. I don't think he's an alien. But that's a pretty cool explanation, that the first season he doesn't quite understand when people speak to him, even. But that just might be an element of, that just might be a side effect of clown, and the fact that, like, clown as an art form needs to be show, don't tell. And so I feel like the art form kind of requires people to point instead of to say things to him, where they're like, look over there, look at that sign. The sign says you're not supposed to be there. And he's like, oh, you know? Behold the man who is a bean. But, you know, that could be a joke. That could just be the humor of it. Okay, I'm gonna sing the lyrics. Does somebody have the lyrics posted here? I always found this opening really sad for some reason. That's kind of like, I kind of get that too. I kind of get that too a little bit. He has these moments where he's so alone. He's a lone man. He doesn't quite... Oh, Rowan Atkinson reveals how Mr. Bean got his name. Okay, we're watching this now too.
The character didn't have a name. He didn't have to have a name because there were no words spoken in the sketches in which he featured. They were silent sketches. But then when we thought, actually, these sketches are quite funny, it's quite an interesting idea to develop a comedy character who doesn't use words. Television comedy had developed from radio comedy, which was a very wordy, tradition. And we had to give him a name in order to give the television show a name. So we came up with the name of Mr. Bean. We were thinking Mr. White for a while. That was an idea, but that sounded a bit dull. We thought of, vegetables, and Mr. Bean seemed to be short, sharp, and to the point.
Bean.
That is awesome.
The character didn't have a name.
I love that so many things in comedy, so many great things in comedy and history and in the art of comedy is like almost accidental. It's premeditated, but also accidental. All comedy is improvised. Like at the moment of inception, you've improvised something, even if it's a written joke. Technically, you thought of the punchline on the spot, and then you wrote it and polished it and whatever. Everything we do is improvised until it is not. So everything is improvised when you do it the first time. You know? Is that a piece of Avagus wisdom? Do you guys understand what I'm saying here? Everything is improvised the first time you do it. You know? Yeah. And like, that is so interesting. That like Mr. Bean, you just kind of dig around, you root around for the right word, the right name for this guy, and then boom, just like that. Pops up, and it was short, sharp, and to the point, and it basically that's all they needed on it. And that's so cool.
We watched the Celtics Mavs game together.
Oh no.
Hate the Celtics.
Okay. That's for later. I love those guys. Almost Friday. Great group of boys. They're so funny. As a kid, my mother always told me Mr. Bean was a fallen angel because his new quest was to make everyone smile. Ask her nowadays as an adult, and she said God rejected him and gave him immortality. Huh. Yeah, I don't know. I think these people are overthinking it for sure. Based on how pure they were about just like funny man does clown funny things. It's like, sure you can add lore to it, you know. Fun fact, the lyrics of the song are saying, behold the man who is a bean. Okay, I'm gonna, sorry guys, I just gotta sing it. Behold the man who is a bean. Wait, this is the best way to do it. This way. Okay, here we go. I got it. The words are there. Okay. I must sing it in Latin. Here we go. That high note is fucking me up. That high note, I really can't get there. And then it fucks up the rest of it. It fucks up the rest. I want to do it again. Wait. I want to do it again. I'm not going to hit that note, but I got to try better. Here we go. You know, I could drop the octave and do it. That's a hard note. That's so fun. Okay, sorry to break your ears like that. Behold the man who is a bean. Wow. Behold is such a fun word. Behold. It is so hark. Behold is so hark. Because, you know when you want to hearken someone to something? And hark is not enough? Sometimes you got to step up the hark with a behold. Sometimes it's not enough to hearken someone. You need to tell them to behold. A hark is not enough. One must behold. Hark, behold. You know what I'm saying? You know, when I'm done this podcast, I'm going to have so much popcorn. I'm going to treat myself to so much popcorn. Behold the man who is a bean. Behold the Ava who is a girl. I'm a girl. I haven't said that in a while. When I started out in transitioning, I would go, and well before, ever since I was a young man, I would go, I'm a girl. And I would say it mockingly, and it would be very funny to me to say it like that. And also to say, I'm old. I would just say that at random. And come to think of it, I have more of a right to say the I'm old thing now than I did back then. I can say I'm old in that voice now more. I have more of a right. If with every passing moment, I have more and more of a right to say I'm old than I did the moment before. Behold the woman, she is old. You know? Okay. That's enough for the main episode of PodGis. And if you want more, if your name is Juan out there and you Juan more, well, guess what, your ass? Guess your ass. We are going to be doing, we, as in myself and my my loyal listeners out there, Kies Faba, who are a bean, my listeners, Kies Faba, we are gonna. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep going for a hot half hour, maybe possibly more. I'm having fun, and yeah. So if you are out there and you want and you like me and you like watching me and listening to me and you like my improvisational nature and you think I'm funny and silly and insightful and maybe even a little bit profound, well, there's another whole chunk of exclusive content that you can go to my Patreon to watch. Check it out, Ava Val on my Patreon. Otherwise, if you are a listener watcher, I'm going on tour. If you're a Canadian fan, check it out. I'm going on tour. I'm going on tour to the Maritimes, and guess where I'm going? I'm working out something in Vancouver. It really doesn't look like it's happening because time is running out, and the venues I'm speaking to, it's just not working out. Then Victoria, I'm going to Moncton and Charlottetown and Halifax to the East Coast. And then I'm I'm in Toronto. Naturally, I have a lot of shows, but we're kicking off this whole tour April 3rd, I think, in Toronto at Comedy Bar. And then where else? Winnipeg, Saskatoon. I'm all over, baby. So make sure you go to Gay AF Comedy. You key search Gay AF Comedy Ava Val tour for all those tour dates. If not, follow me, Ava Val Comedy. You already do, I'm sure you do. And then check out oh jeez. Kies Faba. I need a water. I don't even know what I'm gonna call this episode. At one point I was gonna call it If You Ain't Hundo, You Nundo, but I think I like behold the man, behold this man, he is a bean. Behold the man who is a bean. Well, what's woman? Moulier. I'm pronouncing it looks French. Say it.
Mulher.
Mulia. Mulia. Yeah. Where's it? Eche homo. I guess homo means human, right? Oh no. Mulia. So word female, femella. Femella. Yeah. Well, they're giving me two different. Is it mulia or femina? Or wife, but is it blah blah blah? Sicilian and French uses femina. In the Romance languages. I'm gonna say femella because it sounds better in the thing. Mulier. I don't really like that. It's too French. Yep. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, sorry. I'm losing my train of thought. Yeah. Okay. If you want more, go to my Patreon. Check out tickets. I'm crossing Canada, America. Sorry, I'm being delayed, and you know they're making it illegal to fucking be me down there. So who knows? Oh, I might rant about Elon Musk. And hey, by the way, it's totally sick that Tesla's stock is crashing. Elon can go fuck himself, and they can all go fuck themselves, and Trump can go fuck himself, and the stock market. I want it to crash. I want everything bad to happen to Trump right before he dies, so that he dies angry and sad and bitter. about his legacy. That would be amazing. Okay. Anyways, I'm gonna say bye, and then I'm gonna pause, and that's gonna be your chance to leave and my chance to make a cut, edit, and then podcast will begin. So I didn't have to tell you that, but that's what I'm doing. Okay, here we go. So bye.